James, you wear a lot of hats. You're a veteran and household chef, a self-taught barber and dream chaser, and student. You're an ander. At National University, we see the whole you. That's why we've created online and hybrid programs that flex to help you balance your full life, so you can focus on what's right in front of you. National University, supporting the whole you. Learn more at nu.edu.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Pauly Howard. We're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. And this show, as always, is brought to you by DraftKings. We will run the floor today with every game in the National Football League. We'll hit the big ones a couple of times throughout the next 3 hours. Good guests on the program today, including Adam Chernoff a little bit later on, and we'll get a breakdown on this injury report, which is a very key one today, Paulie, to look at with the Dolphins and the Cowboys as well. Rams, impressive again last night. They covered. That final score was misleading. They blew the Saints out, and that game played out kind of like we hinted yesterday, where the Saints had played garbage all year long at quarterback, and when they didn't, they gave up a lot of points and they lost. But that you saw a little bit of everything last night, right? The creativity, the amount of motion the Rams used on offense was fantastic to trick a defensive-minded head coach in Dennis Allen, where they had no solution whatsoever on that side of the ball. Stafford goes for more than 300. Puka Nacua, live for Rookie of the Year?
Well, listen, I've never seen a wide receiver come in as a rookie and dominate other than Randy Moss in 98. I think he had 17 touchdowns. Puka has more yards already. So this is staggering what he's doing. And if Stroud misses more games, I think he's got a shot here. What he's done, 4 guys had a catch. That's it. That's all they need. Higbee, Robinson, who's good, Puka, and Kupp. Kupp was third in yards, and they win the game. Stafford was humming. McVay called a great game. And this team should be on a 6-game winning streak. And I think they're going to be a tough out in the playoffs.
And here are your updated numbers after last night. Again, we reminded you, we told you that they were minus 125 to make the playoffs yesterday. That converts to about 55.6%. And we said that if you liked them last night, if you had a strong opinion on the Rams just to win the game, forget about covering for a second here, then you needed to bet that number because it was going to multiply by this morning. Well, the odds actually doubled now. They're minus 250. The percentage went up to 71.4%. That's the minus 250 conversion there. And that's also factoring in, because I think when you watch the game last night and you look at the other teams vying for a playoff spot, a wild card slot there, you're going to say, well, how are they not in? It's still factoring in the Rams potentially needing and starting their guys in Week 18. Otherwise, this percentage would be a lot higher than what it is, in my opinion.
Niners, yeah.
Who did I say?
You said Rams.
Did I say Rams? Yeah, Niners leading that game. Sorry.
Minnesota has the tiebreaker over them, too, because of the conference record. But Minnesota's going to take some L's here. So they're going to beat the passing Paisan and win that game. So it's just a formality. Now, what I want to see, and what I think a lot of fans want to see, is go to Detroit. How good would that be? If that's the 3-6 game, Detroit would host a playoff game for the first time since '93, and Stafford goes back home, and it's the trade. The quarterbacks traded for one another. How good would that be? And I would pick the Rams in that game. Now,
here's the thing. I paid attention last night on X, social media. Every person was saying the same thing. So the Rams would finish hot. Who knows? They might have a win over the 49ers, who might not need the game. Every single person would pick the Rams, which would make me kind of want to go the other way.
Wow, this offense is awesome.
They're terrific right now.
And I'm shocked at how well the defense is playing. The other thing is they just have to do a better job closing games. They screwed around and played with their food last week against Washington. That's 28-7. Couple touchdown drives by Brissett, and it comes down to the onside kick. And here you're right. This game is over. It's a blowout. And then the blocked punt. Rams' second half's a bad beat, and it puts the Saints team total over with what happened after the block punt when that game is over. But the creativity, the motion, 6 carries for Puka. But the big thing is what they have with the rushing attack. Williams goes for 100 yards again. Mom's having a good time in the stands. I mean, this guy, it's a whole different dimension of this offense when you can open up the passing game even more because he can just get chunks on the ground with those angry runs.
Yep. The explosive runs are going to be there. And the Saints' rush defense, obviously not very good. It's one of the weakest in the entire league. But when you have Williams running like he is right now, I actually thought when he left the game, I thought, he's going to go to the blue tent. This is going to be concussion protocol time. Mm-hmm. And I did not anticipate him actually coming back in the game last night. And then he did, and he looked awesome. So you have that, along with Kupp, who got banged up during the game last night. But you have Kupp and Nakua as your 2 receivers, which, I mean, the drafting this team has done, they had to have that because they're without first-round picks forever because they sold their souls to win that Super Bowl a couple years ago. It's actually worked out because they've hit it in these late-round picks. Mm-hmm. Like, they got that young kid on defense in the 3rd round. Awesome pick. Nakua was a 5th-round pick. That doesn't happen for every single. So Les Snead has done an amazing job here keeping this together. But you have all the receivers for Stafford to throw the ball to, and the way that Williams is running the ball at the same exact time, and they're going for more than 400 yards a game. Awesome.
He's locked in too. You think you have him, and then he rolls out and he does like the Dan Quisenberry sidearm thing, and you can't stop that. I mean, he's just made some incredible throws the last month here. And he didn't play in the Green Bay game, which was one tiebreaker that they would lose, but they lost that game. But since he came back, it should be a 6-game winning streak and how well he's playing offensively. Now, if you really want to get nuts and drink the Kool-Aid, Mike Florio is saying this team could have the best chance to go to San Francisco and win. Well, I mean, that 42-10 Dallas, what San Francisco did to them, 42-19 against Philly, 1 by 30 at Pittsburgh, 1 by 30 at Jacksonville. No one has a better A game. And the first meet in Los Angeles was 30-23, and Stafford threw for 300 yards in that game. So with the way they're humming offensively, he might be on something there. Well, onto something, excuse me.
Yeah, and we've kicked this around a couple of times this week on the show, and that is the thought that this Rams version right now that we're watching could give any team in the NFC playoffs a game. And I said, like on Tuesday when you were up, Pauly, maybe with the exception of the 49ers, because the 49ers have the best A game and their power rating is, going to the moon at this point.
They won't slow them down, though. They'd have to outscore them.
And I think they probably would. I think I'd like the 49ers in that game.
40, okay.
Yeah,
40,
I don't think the Rams get many stops. But so what would the rematch look like with the Rams going to Dallas and playing the Cowboys? Because that was ugly.
That'd be a good game. Yeah, that did get out of control early in the season. That's right. But I think it'd be a whole different ball game this time around. And that it'd be a high-scoring game, and they can hang in that one. I'd also have to rule out Seattle, because San Francisco's dominated Seattle, and they beat them 5 in a row as well. So that'd be a pretty good game, too, although it didn't work out the first time, you're right.
And you know how these divisional teams know each other. And also, McVay has done a hell of a job this year. I will point this out last night. When they're up 10-0, and he decided to try the field goal attempt on 4th and 2 from the 28, I hated that. I thought, I couldn't believe he was going to do that.
Why'd you bring Mason Crosby in? This guy can't kick.
No, you can't. Why would you not go for it on 4th and 2? I thought that was dumb, uncalled for, missed it. 3 plays later, touchdown for the Saints.
Yep.
Also, later in the game, they had a 4th and 2 at the 3-yard line. I thought he was going to go for it there. He didn't.
Yeah.
But the all-time, mind-numbingly stupid call last night was from Dennis Allen. And if this team misses the playoffs, if the Buccaneers win that division, the Falcons and the Saints are going to be looking for new head coaches next year.
Yeah.
This guy on 4th and 5 with a minute to play at the 42-yard line of the Rams decided, hey, you know what? I know they have all 3 timeouts left, and they're getting the ball at halftime. Let's go for it. This is a good idea.
He punted from the 37 in the first quarter.
I could not look. As a guy holding Rams plus 240 from 2 weeks ago to make the playoffs, I love the call. I thought this is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen this year by a coach in the league. That decision to go for it on 4th and 5. I could not believe, but I loved it. And then what happened? Of course, the Rams went down and scored again.
Yep.
And what was he thinking?
That was a horrible decision. And I cannot believe they did not put Winston in this year. And they're just riding it out with Carr, who continues to get booed in home games.
Oh, it was. The the touchdown pass to give him their first touchdown, that was a nice pass, but also the receiver had the entire secondary burnt by 5 yards. After that, it was all garbage time last night. Had another silly INT. When they go for it on fourth down, he's not close to the receivers.
Well, I mean, if this would be a choke job now if Tampa can't win the division. I mean, they should be able to beat them next week at home, and now they're favored with, looks like it's Beathard for Jacksonville. So it's right there for Baker and Tampa. And this is just, to think to think the Saints and Atlanta can't go over their win totals with the two easiest schedules we've seen in a long, long time.
Oh, yeah.
Unmitigated disaster. Bad job all the way around.
So that updated division price
275, right?
Yeah, DraftKings 270 on the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Saints are plus 360 in that range. Falcons are plus 750.
Yeah. And Tampa closes with Carolina too. So just get one of these next two, and I doubt Atlanta can run the table as well, but. Right. I thought they'd miss the playoffs. I thought they'd go under their win total. We had a guest on who said Bowles could be the first coach fired. I did not see this coming from Mayfield, but they've had a lot of help though, because there's no way the Saints and Falcons should be under 500 with the garbage they've played. Did you see that tweet Luke sent in? What the 9 teams have been eliminated from the postseason. Atlanta lost to 5 of them. Six of them, whatever it is, or 6 have been eliminated. They've lost. Yeah, it's embarrassing. And Art Smith's got to go too.
Yeah,
so.
and every game was the same exact thing this year for that team.
Yeah,
never changed whatsoever. The Rams were dropping last night to win the NFC during the game.
What would you need for that?
I passed on 40-1. Oh,
that's yeah. Well, you're gonna probably have to go.
And now
Dallas or Philly, and then San Francisco.
That's right. So they're 30-1 this morning at DraftKings, and the number continued to plummet to win their conference. At this point, yeah, I'll roll over moneyline parlay on the Rams if you like them to come out. Just bet them every game to win and take bet winnings with the original bet, roll it over the next time. That would pay more than what their conference odds are this morning, because that's the path they're going to have to go through.
Yeah, okay, or Detroit. Yeah, Detroit, San Francisco. Then whoever the 2 seed could be.
Right.
Yeah, tough assignment.
But they're fun to watch. That offense is clicking on all cylinders right now. Stafford, tip of the cap, man. This is some of the best football I've ever seen that guy play. He has been lights out. We'll recap more of last night's betting action and win some, lose some up next. While you were sleeping, are we really going to do this? Next season is going to be a ton of fun. Details on that coming up next.
Last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Puka first touchdown, 8-1. Rams to win between 7 and 12 points, 5-1. To score first and win, plus 220. Shaheed anytime touchdown, plus 375. Successful 2-point conversion, plus 270. Lakers sat everybody last night on a back-to-back. Minnesota 4.5 up to 8.5. You could have middled it. They won by 7. Pelicans +1 went off a 4-point favorite and routed the Cavs. The Bulls from 3.5 up to 6 blew out the Spurs. And what was that in the bowl game? South Florida and under. From 5.5 down to 3 and 57.5 down to 55. 45-0 Bulls.
Good look by Syracuse last night.
Oh, God. Horrible. Dallas Stars, 11 straight first period overs. 10 of their last 11 games have gone over.
I found minus 132 last night.
Really? Got to keep jumping on that.
The first period,
That's been great. Subscribe, be part of the team. vsin.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos. Never seen this before? How about a deer and a dog playing chase? He's got the fence. The deer's outside, the dog in the yard, behind the fence, and they're just going back and forth. Maybe they do this every single day. They're coming in. All right, we go all the way back, and let's run it back. You good? Okay, here we go. I got you here. I have the lead. That's awesome. I can't believe that video. Over and over and over again with the deer and the dog having a good game at chase. This is my little boy enjoying life. Having a good time out at just hanging out in the water. Getting ready, looking around. Corgi? Little corgi hanging out?
I think that's called splooting when they do that with the back legs.
Okay.
My dog Dexter used to do that all the time.
All right.
And this guy, I saw a video of this. The dog eventually takes off and scoots.
Good for him.
Yeah.
That is great.
Yeah.
I cannot begin to tell you how bad of a loss that was last night for the Pistons. Updated numbers at DraftKings in a second. They've lost 25 in a row. The record in a single season is 26. Their next 2 games are against Brooklyn. The record's the 2010-11 Cavs and the 13-14 Sixers. The record for most consecutive losses is the 76ers. Trust the process, 28 in a row. They took money, +1 went off a 2-point favorite. Utah sat 4 of their top 7 scorers. Cade Cunningham said, "We're not 2-28 bad. We're going to turn this around." Or 2-26 bad, excuse me. Utah was playing their 3rd game in 4 nights. They gave them 50 points off turnovers and rebounds. As Monty Williams said, "We were outworked." They are chanting, "Sell the team," during the game. Updated win total at DraftKings is 9.5. That'd be the record. 9. It's under 5-1. Will the Detroit Pistons win 10 games?
Is there value on that?
Look at the schedule coming up. They might not win a game till February or March.
What'd they give Monty Williams?
It was $70 million?
Gigantic contract.
I know. That could be problem number 1.
They've also been picking extremely high in recent drafts.
Yeah. How can you have all these high picks and be this bad? 26 in a row.
And last night, I mean, I'm looking at the injury report in the during the day yesterday, and it's just one guy after another, not playing, ruled out for the Jazz. I'm like, if they're going to win a game, it has to be tonight.
Outworked. 3 games in 4 nights, debacle, just like this. Alabama Slugger sent this in. You go to a movie and your first move is to take your shoes off? 2 people?
And then put them on the seat right in front of you.
There you go.
Raise them up so everybody in the house can see them.
Oh, God. At least they had socks on, at least. Great job putting them on Front Street. Man, you sent this in. Residential masterpiece? What is this? Do you know, do you have any info on it? It was in Fortune magazine?
Well, they when you really break it down and look at it from level by level, this place is just absurd. And the reason why it's taking off in popularity, one of the BTS singers from that group, he I don't know how much of it he owns, but he bought a chunk of it for $26 million. Look at that. Look at the way it's framed. Look at the way it's shaped. Look how high it is.
Yeah, I like it.
It's incredible.
That is good. Great job sending that in. Lose some. No flex, week 17. We couldn't get Miami, Baltimore for likely the 1 seed on Sunday night.
They did.
And we have 10 early and 3 late.
The league really did a poor job this year flexing. It's the least amount of flexing I can remember.
Yep.
Remember, they teased us, so we can flex out a Thursday night, on a Monday night.
Yep.
Why even have the rule then if you're not going to do it?
Terrible. Lose some. It's a win some and lose some. I just watched it along with Luke, our producer. Murder in Boston. 3-part series on HBO. I remember this. It was national news. The Charles Stewart story. Oh, my God. Check it out. It's worth your time. The final episode was this. It's bananas.
Time frame? When did this actually happen in real life?
Was it late 80s, Luke? 89. I remember when it happened.
Okay.
And this is just wild. 3 parts. Murder in Boston on HBO. Couple bad beats. Rams laying a half, second half. Up 13-0. Saints score, no big deal. But then the block punt. They're not going to go 80 yards. They get the short field that also put their team total over.
The game over as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, ridiculous. Juice Reel. A free betting intelligence app and a tool every bettor needs. It links your betting accounts into one app. In-depth analytics on your betting history. Access to the betting history of billions of bets placed by all Juice Reel users. Billions of data points. Tail the winners, fade the losers. Download it now. REEL Juice Reel. Apple App Store, Google Play Store. It's free. Juice Reel.
So here's what happened last night while you were sleeping. Man, this is really incredible news in Major League Baseball. Yoshinobu Yamamoto made up his mind. He decided to sign with the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's a contract over 12 years worth $325 million. Their odds moved all the way down to 4-1 to win the World Series. What's the lowest number the Dodgers will hit this year to either win the National League or to win the World Series? Will they get to odds on at any point to win the National League? During the regular season is what I'm asking.
Well, I think more moves are coming with the starters. You get this guy, you get Glasnow, you sign Ohtani. The offense was already ridiculous.
Buehler's supposed to be back.
Yeah.
This was the next move after Glasnow, and with, again, Ohtani defraying all that money, they probably have room if they want to go out and add one other person, if they really wanted to make that happen.
Yeah. More bullpen help, more starters. You mentioned that they could maybe make a move for Burns. They matched what the Mets offered. The Yankees thought they had a shot. Madness.
What's the win total going to be when it all settles in and books are coming out and it starts to get molded into an actual number?
Good question.
I mean, you're going to have to put it at, it's going to be more than 100 for this team this year. How high do you go? A couple years ago, when it was 106.5, I bet the over and it got there somehow. That team was absolutely loaded. Then that was the Trevor Bauer team before he got into some trouble.
Mm-hmm.
When their staff was incredible, the offense was just as good as it is now. Do you make it? Is it going to be like 105? I mean, what?
Got to be higher.
When they make the playoffs, if they're fully healthy, what are they laying in the first round of the playoffs?
Yeah. Well, you got the best player in maybe ever. You signed him. Now you get Yasumoto, and you also grab Glasnow, and more moves are coming. So this is just a lot of people are ticked off. I don't blame them.
Well, and there's going to be 14 people at A's games this year. They play in the same state.
Yep.
And that team is moving and getting a brand new stadium, and their payroll is going to be less than like 5 different players on the Dodgers team when it's all said and done. That's really not even that much of an exaggeration.
Well,
your tweet goes back after they signed Ohtani. When you said I can't wait for them to win 115 games and lose in the first round. That's still very real.
Sure it is. Yeah. I mean, still, you go to war with a Buehler or a Glasnow or someone like that. Kershaw, we know that ship has sailed years ago, how bad he was. So this was, I guess you could thank the Arizona Diamondbacks for this happening. But it's, what the Guggenheim portfolio is worth $350 billion or whatever it is. It's asinine. So it's right, the haves and the have-nots, and this is, I mean, the Mets took a shot, but here with the friendship and Ohtani and Yasumoto, you figure that was done too, and then he's at the football game yesterday.
Uh-huh. Man, oh man.
Well, it's also to get Ohtani, but he's only asking for $2 million a year. Everything's deferred.
I know.
Like Bobby Bonilla on steroids, that thing.
And people that are pissed off right now, imagine if they add like one more piece, which is not out of the realm of... That could happen. Look at some of these other teams in major markets in baseball who are just sitting with on their hands basically like, oh, we're not going to do anything this year. We can't. Nonsense. And here the Dodgers like, we got the money. Everybody's got the money, but we're the ones who are going to go out there and spend it on all these players.
Yeah. Well, I still stand by my original tweet. Look what happened. I mean, Baltimore was the 1 seed.
No, they could lose. Yeah,
look what the Phillies did to the Braves. Texas came out of nowhere.
There's no
You're
lock.
throwing guys like Montgomery and Haney, and they're winning playoff games.
That's right. And they were unbeatable in the playoffs last year. Like, that's all. That's why we're kind of like having fun with it. Like, what's the highest they're going to reach in terms of a number? Doesn't mean they're going to win anything. Their division, yes. Beyond that, who knows? I wonder if Matt Vasgersian would think this puts him over the top now when it compares to... Remember, because he had the Braves and...
Braves, yes.
Philly's still ahead of him. Up next, we'll start to dive into the weekend schedule of the NFL. They thrive in rematches to the tune of 18-6 ATS over their last 24 games. Find out which team I'm talking about next here on VSiN.
Want to check out VSiN's betting splits, but don't have a VSiN Pro subscription yet? Today's the final day. We're giving everyone access to the splits for free. It's updated with DraftKings odds every 5 minutes. Find out where the public's betting based on the number of tickets and where the money doesn't match the public opinion. You can check out future events as well. Free access to the betting splits all week. VSiN.com/splits. VSiN.com/splits.
All right, here we go with the games beginning tomorrow in the National Football League. Game number 1, Bengals playing on the road against the Steelers at DraftKings. Bengals are laying 3, even money there. Most other spots have Cincinnati currently listed as a 2.5-point favorite, but it's minus 120 in the game. The total is at 38 here. Of course, these two teams played about a month ago. That was the first game for Browning. It did not go well. He did not have Higgins in that matchup. Mm-hmm. There's no Chase this time around. They did drive 75 yards in that game. to tie it on T. Higgins last week, I should say, with Chase out. And they are 13-12 straight up. This is the team I was talking about before the break. And 18-6 ATS in their last 24 rematch opportunities. And when it comes to divisional games, they're 6-0 ATS in the second time around against Pittsburgh. So Taylor's done a really good job. Browning has been spectacular here in the last 3 weeks, all things considered. And now they're up to basically a full field goal here.
We got another quarterback change now. Now it's Rudolph, and the guys like and respect him. MVP Mitch was awful since they fired Canada. 1-3, 14 points per game. Ugly Saturday against the Colts. They get the 13-0 lead, the block punt. They're set up at the 1, and then they were run out the rest of the way. Is this finally going to happen? Tomlin going to have a losing record. 26-10-1 ATS after allowing 30 points. You're down 3 safeties. You got Pickens is checked out. What is he doing? He's unfollowing guys on social media. He's going through the motions. He's not bothering to block.
He's not trying in games. No. He's not trying in practice. Video surfaced from that this week.
Yeah, it's too bad there's no Chase. I would really like Cincinnati here because you're right, what Browning's done. He's gone over his passing yard prop all 4 games. He's completing 76% of his passes, and he was awesome in the fourth quarter and overtime. And it saved their season against Minnesota, down 14 points. But I don't know what you're going to get out of Rudolph here. 10 starts, games with multiple touchdown passes, 5. Pickett in his career, 1.
Yeah.
I mean, it's... But I can't... And I know it's a complicated legacy, as we've talked about. I can't dismiss and give up on Tomlin, even though it's looked so bad the last 3 weeks. And I wouldn't be shocked if they win this game, and then they go to Seattle, and they're still in the mix here with a chance to do this.
Remember, there was a stretch a handful of years ago where it was a revolving door for a minute at Steelers quarterback, and it was Mason Rudolph or Duck Hodges. At the time, I think I called it the worst quarterback rotation I've ever seen in my entire life, and it's close to still being number 1 at the bottom. The last game that Rudolph started, remember, you're probably going to remember this game, actually. It was in 2021. It was in November. It was a rain game. It was the tie against the Lions.
Yeah, okay.
The game that finished in a tie. He was 30 of 50 in that game for 242, a touchdown and an INT, but that's an average of 4.8 yards per attempt. That's the definition of dink and dunk. And he was not taking shots down the field. Is that kind of the game plan here? But also, with injuries to the Cincinnati defensive line, including the big fella in the middle, don't you think that they should be able to run the ball a little bit here? This Bengals defense is not great by any stretch.
Chandler was awesome last week against them, yeah.
Yeah, you would think that somehow the Steelers could get it going with a combination of Warren and Harris.
What are they going to do offensively? They couldn't move the ball against the Colts. They couldn't move the ball against New England. They couldn't move the ball against Arizona, who's near the bottom in every key defensive statistic and category.
Yeah, I have little to no faith in Rudolph getting it done in the air. So if they can't get it, it has to come on the ground, a little bit of it anyway. Because the Bengals have just been really, really, like all their numbers are just not good whatsoever defensively. And it's really been trending that way now for a good month or 2.
Wow, the Chase thing, it's too bad, right? This team is scary. How well they're looking. Now with Higgins, if you had Chase, the Brown kid, Mixon, these guys that are putting up numbers, and the incredible play by Higgins to tie it, and come back to beat the Vikings. So they go to Kansas City next week, and then they close with the Browns. So it's a tough schedule, and they lose most of the tiebreakers. They did beat Buffalo, which will help them. But I love the Browning story. How can you not? You know, I thought he took it too far, I think, about you shouldn't have cut me, and it was a different coach and different GM and everything with the Vikings. But whatever can fuel you and whatever can get you fired up for these games, and the Browning story, I didn't see this coming. He's been great.
Yeah, let me ask you about the total. Because of the porous defense here for the Bengals, can you make a case here for over 38, or is it just too much of an unknown with Rudolph here that you don't know if the Bengals or the Steelers offense will give us anything?
I could see 24-20. I could see turnovers. I could see that. You couldn't?
No. Because based on. I think
block, punt, crap like last week. Yeah.
But even the Bengals defense has been so bad. I can see the Steelers offense.
Yeah. That's true. Nick Mullins lit them up.
But make a case here. The Steelers, they can sustain some drives actually and maybe go down and have 2 touchdowns. I can see that happening.
Nick Mullins cost them the game. Yeah. 2 horrible turnovers and
that's right.
Deep in Cincinnati territory. They couldn't stop them.
Yep. The game on Saturday night. Remember, folks, good luck finding this game. It's on Peacock. So there will be thousands of people, maybe more than that, just like scrambling, like, where's the game? I can't find it
anywhere. Wait till the first Saturday night, a wild card weekend. The game's only on Peacock. We don't get it's commercial free in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. So you have that. Are you surprised at the pro money on the Chargers?
No, I thought it was, that's a really high number to get to, because don't we always like and make a case for the next game for a team that just canned everybody and the head coach is no longer there? This team laid down against the Raiders. That was like a message, like, we can't stand Staley, get him out of here, and we're going to do whatever we can here to get embarrassed so that he's not going to come back and be our coach anymore.
Well, Stick didn't do anything and had problems moving it in garbage time. He had a pick six. He fumbled for another defensive touchdown, and now you don't have Keenan Allen again. So again, how are they going to move the football? Dink and dunk to Eckler? You're not going to get it to Johnson.
That's another guy I think that's he looks shot.
I know, and the Bills' defense has been awesome, and they only allowed 3.4 yards per play against Dallas. Hyde's out, but it's you said it earlier. It's going to be nothing but Bills Mafia taking over this stadium, and they don't have a touchdown, no touchdowns in the first half of their last 4 games. The Chargers.
Yeah, it's
a ton of points, and I know it's the new coach hated Staley and just embarrassed. Go back when the team gives up 60 points. What is that? It's like 87% going back ATS. It doesn't happen often, but just to get humiliated like that on national TV, we'll find out what they're made of. But I just think one team's firing on all cylinders with their season on the line. The other ones, you got the U-Hauls backed up.
Also, it's an injury report that you have to pay attention to because James Cook, again, did not practice. He's coming off a career game against the Cowboys. Guy looked like legitimately turning into a really, solid top-of-the-line, top-tier weapon in the NFL. He's been sick this week. Funny, they played the Cowboys. The Cowboys had like 10 guys who were questionable or who were sick, and now that went over to the Bills' side after they played each other, and now they're kind of in the same boat. So I need to see, is he going to be out there? And Epinesa, another guy who might miss. Now, this, if you want, here's the deal. Because of the ping pong match with the point spread this week, and it touched, 14 for a very brief amount of time earlier in the week, came all the way back down to 11 and a half. Now it's going back up. I think maybe if you want the Chargers again, you let it breathe for a little bit. Limits are going up, on a daily basis here in the NFL. So if Buffalo money is going to keep coming in like it did to reverse the point spread here, if you want the Chargers maybe wait and it'll get to 13 and a half again, I think would be the breakdown there.
Well, do you also see improvement on the defense? Because Staley was calling the plays there, and they were 29th overall, 30th against the pass, 28th in scoring.
I don't think it can get any worse.
So this is, if Josh Allen doesn't turn it over, this team not only will make the playoffs, but can make a deep run.
Yeah, to your point about the Bills Mafia taking over, this has been a thing going back to when they were in San Diego, continues now in L.A. Overall, as a franchise, the Chargers are 30-47 ATS at home since 2014. There has been absolutely zero home field advantage. That's 39%. It's one of the worst marks in the entire league. And all these numbers that we're talking about today, you can go to vsin.com, get them for yourself. Click on the analytical report. Steve Mackinnon has unbelievable stuff every single week. So that's part of it in this game. One of the games then as we get into Sunday, sharp money, Pauly, on the Vikings this week to put it where it's at today as they're taking on the Lions. Sewell back as a full participant at practice on the O-line, but Ragnow missed. That's a knee/back/toe injury for him. And now basically the Lions are laying 3 even money in this game.
Yeah, I bet the look-ahead line because I didn't think Nick Mullins would look like that. And I was pleasantly surprised by how he played, and they blew that game. Also, finally, you have O'Connell saying Chandler's our guy, and he's going to get a heavy dose the rest. What took so long?
How did you not realize that last week?
No kidding. Minnesota, first quarter under this year, 12-1-1. Teams could play 3 times in 21 days. Could be the 3-6 matchup. Detroit clinches the division with the win.
Keep this in mind. Jared Goff versus the Blitz.
Yeah.
He is 16th in EPA versus the Blitz. The Vikings rush the quarterback, and they blitz more than any other team. And when it comes to rushing at least 6 or more defenders, they are number 1 in the league at doing that as well, hence the blitz numbers. Sam Laporta is coming off a career game. Mm-hmm. That was against the Broncos, dead last in DVOA against tight ends. The Vikings are 18th against that position.
Could be a letdown. They were great Saturday night.
Yeah, it was a perfect game for them. Up next, your weekly look at props around the league. We'll go over the worst teams against the run and the pass and who they're facing this week with odds next on VSiN.
5 games on Christmas in the NBA. New customers get $150 instantly in bonus bets just for betting $5. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code FOLLOW. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours, and that great prop that's up. Will the Detroit Pistons win 10 games? Under 9.5 is 5-1. Every Friday we do props from DraftKings. 6 early games this week. All teams score 2 touchdowns in the early games, 35-1. Every team kicks a field goal in the 6 early games, plus 550. A field goal by every team this week is 25-1. Passing touchdown, 16-1 in the early games. Rushing touchdown by every team in the 6 early games, 65-1. All teams with a touchdown and a field goal early, 35-1. Every team scores a touchdown this week, plus 450. Will a quarterback throw for 500 yards, 25-1. 200 yards receiving, 4-1. 200 yards rushing, 7-1. Most passing yards Sunday only. Dak, the favorite, 5-1. Tua, 6. Mullins, plus 750. Goff, 10-1. Flacco, 12. Mayfield, 14. Love, 14. Geno, 15. Keenum, 16. You want to get nuts? Zappy, Young, Russell Wilson at the bottom in the 30 to 45-1 range.
Okay. What are you seeing for most? I'll get into most rushing and most receiving here with a breakdown.
Start with receiving. Tyreek Hill's the favorite. Are we sure he's going to play?
No, we're not positive about that whatsoever.
Yep. Lamb is 5-1. Hill's plus 350. Waddle's 7. Jefferson 7. St. Brown 9.
Okay. So you want to get really, really stupid and go with Garrett Wilson? What are you seeing on him?
22. I can't. It's probably Sim. I can't imagine Zach Wilson plays.
It's the reason why I bring it up. The Commanders' defense is, wow, is it bad?
Yes.
They're 32nd against the pass overall. They're 32nd against wide receiver number ones. Pauly, they're allowing 102 yards per game to wide receiver number ones. Couple last week, 8 for 111 and 1 touchdown. I mean, can Simeon is it possible that Wilson could have 12 targets and somehow, some way they connect on like 8 of them?
He hasn't started since, 2019 or something?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Wilson got concussed and they didn't tell anybody and went back in, and his mom said he's having all kinds of issues.
Okay, how about DJ Moore this week, getting a Cardinals team? I think, we're going to get some points in this game, right? Cardinals defensively, they're 31st against the pass, 30th against wide receiver number ones, 25th against tight ends. DJ Moore has shown the ability to pop. Against that same Washington defense I just mentioned, he had that 230 on a Thursday night
15
game.
15-1. How about Mike Evans, 20?
Well, Mike, I'm always intrigued by Mike Evans' props.
Jacksonville's defense, horrendous.
Yeah, they're really, really bad right now, the way that they're trending. I could see that. The Falcons' defense is really bad. Can you see a Colts wide receiver popping? Here, and again, another team that's awful, and we saw it last week. The Packers are 29th against the pass, 28th against wide receiver number ones, and 30th against tight ends. Godwin last week had 10 for 155. Who would go off for the Panthers? Is it Mingo? Is it Chark? Would it be Thielen?
Go off.
And by the way, what's going off for a Panthers wide receiver? 4 for 60?
Yeah, right now, yeah.
You were all over the Thielen props earlier in the year, but
105 is probably a big game, as bad as Bryce Young is.
How about Diggs this week? Chargers 29th against wide receiver number ones, and they allow 90 yards per game to the position.
It's Sunday only.
Oh, it's Sunday only stuff. Okay,
so
all right.
They'll do their own thing on Saturday though. Dak 5, Tua 6, Mullins 7, Goff 9. Anything with the quarterbacks? Did you see nothing there?
We'll tie that into highest scoring game of the day on Sunday because you need it. Yeah, okay.
High-low. Highest scoring game, Dallas, Miami plus 230. Detroit, Minnesota 4-1. Indy and the Falcons plus 650. Here's your Arizona, Chicago game plus 750. Although the Bears' defense has been great since the Sweat trade.
It has been. I also have, let's see here. What if the Bears get out to a comfortable lead? There's no quit so far in this Cardinals team. You got to commend what they're doing with the effort anyway.
Yeah.
And Kyler Murray has been dangerous.
This is a tough week because there's so many backup quarterbacks
and
what's gone on here with all the injuries. And
so don't you think Mullins or Goff could make a run for it based on the fireworks that we could get in this game? And if one of these teams gets out to a nice lead, the other team's going to have to throw the ball quite a bit to get back into it. Mullins is capable.
I think Seattle, Tennessee has fireworks. If it's Levis against Geno, and it looks like it'll be Geno. I think I could see points in that game. But yeah, Detroit, Minnesota has all the makings as well. I don't know about Indy, Atlanta.
I bet that over 43 when it first came out there, but that's going to be Heineke. So I don't know. With Heineke, would you go with somebody like Drake London? Mm-hmm. He had a 175-yard game recently.
Jacksonville, Tampa would be high scoring, but it's going to be Beathard now.
Yeah. Actually,
so I don't want to do that.
But if Beathard plays the full game, I still think that team can put up points against the Buccaneers defense.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe that would be a spot where it could be a Ridley type to lead this week or Beathard to even go, if you want to get really crazy, Beathard to lead in passing yards.
Okay. Low scoring game. The game on Christmas Eve, NFL Network. We're going to have snow. Patriots, Denver, 3-1. Washington and the Jets, 4-1. So is Green Bay, Carolina. Cleveland, Houston is plus 650. God, if it was Stroud. Killer. It's from Joe Osborne. The Browns rank first in points allowed at home, 13 a game. They're dead last on the road, 30.7. Before the Stroud news, Houston's team total was 22.5, which is a number all 6 of Cleveland's opponents on the road have topped. What's the deal? That's staggering.
Well, I mean, and the Texans did get some decent news in terms of wide receiver. Looks like Nico Collins is going to be able to play in this game on Sunday. However, it is Case Keenum here that we're talking about.
He did nothing. It was a nice win, but he didn't do anything.
No, the offense.
The Titans just gave him that game-winning drive with the 54-yard field goal, and then
that's how I felt about it too.
Yeah, he also had a pick 6.
And now they also are missing key guys on defense.
Yeah.
So I actually want to make the case for this one to be a much lower scoring game, and 650 might be worth taking.
Okay. Colts, Falcons 12, Jags, Bucks 10, Arizona, Chicago 10. Lowest scoring games of the week.
All right, I can give you some numbers here on teams defensively that are really bad against the rush. Broncos still dead last, 32nd overall in DVOA. They're 28th in explosive rush percentage, but they get the Patriots this week. Would you want to bet on Ezekiel Elliott leading the league? Okay. Panthers are 31st overall DVOA, 32nd in EPA per rush, 26th in explosive rush percentage, but who's that going to be for the Packers? Aaron Jones? Would he get enough carries? To have, because you're going to need to reach, low 100s at least to be in the mix here for the league leader. I don't know if Aaron Jones will get enough attempts, if he's going to play enough. The Cardinals are 24th against the rush EPA, 30th in DVOA. If you could go Foreman, you could go Justin Fields maybe. Fields takes off, has a heyday, runs the ball a bunch, and he's shown the capability of having 150 yards rushing in a game before. Bengals are terrible against the rush. This is what we were bringing this up in the previous segment.
Yeah.
Overall, they're 29th in DVOA, 27th against explosive rushes, but you don't know who's going to get a bulk of the carries between Warren and Harris. The same thing with the Chiefs are actually bad against the run. Is that going to be Jacobs? Will it be Zamir White? Packers are terrible against the run. Hubbard?
What is going on with the injuries? This team was playing so well. Alexander's going to miss his 6th straight game.
Yeah.
Watson's missed the last 2. Musgrave's hurt. Dillon's hurt. And the giant debacle, and now you lose to Tampa and couldn't stop them.
They've also had a problem with this in the past where guys who, and we saw it right away with Aaron Jones when he had the hamstring in week 1. It'll be a weekly thing.
Yeah.
It lasted for like 6 weeks. They are slow at bringing their players back. I don't know if they want to make sure they're 100%, if they have a bad training team staff there. I don't know what it is, but this has kind of been the MO for Green Bay for a long time. Players who are expected to come back, the injury wasn't that bad. Well, hold on here. It's going to be another 2 weeks. What?
Yep. Other props that are offered, and they've been cashing every week. Yes, no shutout, and it seems there's been a great run of safe. There's usually a safety every week, too.
Yeah.
You got yes, no safety, yes, no overtime, and yes, no shutout. That's offered all the places.
Their menu is absolutely massive. Chargers are also really bad against the run, but James Cook, again, as of yesterday, DNP because of the illness. He's also coming off of just such a monstrous game. It's tough to really go back-to-back weeks like that when you pop for the first time. But some dark horse candidates there, like a Hubbard would be dark horse. Swift or Hurts against the Giants. Fields, like I brought up, get some longer numbers. on those players. Up next here on Follow the Money, it's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. We'll get into your big boy on Christmas night. The Niners hosting the Ravens. Pauly is going to raise a good point here about the Ravens and what they've been talking about this week. Plus, a great stat. He's 28-1 straight up, but only 42% ATS when the point spread is where it's at for this game. We'll tell you all of it coming up next here on VSiN.
James, you wear a lot of hats. You're a veteran and household chef, a self-taught barber and dream chaser, and student. You're an ander. At National University, we see the whole you. That's why we've created online and hybrid programs that flex to help you balance your full life, so you can focus on what's right in front of you. National University, supporting the whole you. Learn more at nu.edu.